Yeah, not a bad way to celebrate your birthday, is it? Getting a Premier League goal to your name. And what was, in the end, a routine win, Owen?
Yeah, to be fair, I really like Colwill. I think he's a super player, super talented, can play left back, can play centre back. The problem is they probably need another one alongside him. You know, I know they've got Fofana, who's had his injury issues. Disasi was there, he's obviously gone on loan to Aston Villa. But I think they need to find a partner for Colwill, because he's what they need, but in terms of the goalkeeper and his partner next to him, they need something a bit stronger.
But from what we saw from Chelsea tonight, was that the perfect response for Maresca after 3 straight defeats?
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, if they would have lost this game tonight, it would have been an absolute disaster. Everyone had been screaming for his head. So it was it's still against the Premier League side, in inverted commas. I mean, they're really struggling, aren't they, Southampton? So if you wasn't to take 3 points off them tonight, I think the pressure would have really ramped up into that next game, which is Leicester, which you expect them to beat again. But look, when you're a manager of Chelsea Football Club, there's a lot of expectancy. This club has won for a very long time. It's having a lull at the moment. Are they on their way back? Jury's still open for me. I'm not sure that they're answering enough questions. I think the consistency needs to be there. I think they need experience as well as youth. They haven't really got that blend. I think there's a lot of young kids running around there. You talked about Colwill. He needs an experienced man up alongside him, really. If they can find that. Yeah, but what they obviously decided that wasn't the future. The manager's trying to make a point that we are going to youth, even from the academy, with the amount of subs he brought on tonight. It's not a brave decision, to, 4-0 up to bring on, 3 or 4 of your academy graduates. Hopefully they can get another opportunity. Perhaps you should play them against Leicester and see them from the start. That's when you're really having a look at these players, not for 10 minutes at the end of a game. But, small steps, and that is obviously the way they're going to go. Yeah. Because it looks like they're not going to have the finances. It's very difficult to get rid of the players you already have, and he's got a huge amount of players in that squad. But it was an important result for him today. Just to win the game was important, and it was an emphatic win, wasn't it? I was never in doubt.
And it started with a goal from Christopher Nkunku.
Yeah, and to be fair, they need him. I think everybody's thought, is he a striker? He's not a striker. He can play wide, he can play as a 10, but they need his goals. Obviously, with Jackson out, I think Neto played through the middle as a false 9, but he can score goals, Christopher Nkunku. Just needs to stay fit and healthy and maybe find a role. I think obviously Cole Palmer being so influential in that 10 position probably took away from where he probably at his best. But outside of Cole Palmer, I'd say he's their most natural choice for goals if Nicholas Jackson is missing. And it was a good start for him. Yeah.
Out comes the balloon, which is his trademark celebration, because his little one is a big fan of balloons, and that's it, just to make him happy. And then we saw Pedro Neto on the score sheet.
Yeah, he's very direct. I think he's had a decent season, I really do. And recently he's been stepping up. I think he's a real threat. I think he could play in most teams. I really think he's a talent. When he was going through here, he changes his position, makes the run on the outside. He's going to put his foot through that powerful shot past Ramsdale. 2-0. From there on in, the game was finished, in my opinion. They was always just going to go ahead and score more and more. But I like Neto. I don't know what the celebration's all about.
No.
As a few of the Chelsea players did that tonight. A bit of that, they're listening to the noise. They just got to blank out the noise and win. People are obviously you're playing for Chelsea Football Club. It's a team what normally wins, and you've spent a few £1 billion. So people expect you to be at the top of the league. So just get on with it.
Well, come on, let's find out from one Chelsea player what that celebration was all about, because we heard from him briefly already. Levi Colwill joins us live pitch side from Stamford Bridge. Hey, Levi, always good to see you. Well done today on a much-needed big win. So just give us a little insight. What was that celebration about from Pedro Neto? Do you know?
I didn't see it, to be honest. I think I was celebrating with a few of the players at the back. It meant a lot to us, but I don't know what he done.
Oh, no. It was kind of like... Well, I can't do it.
Too much talking.
Too much talking with the hands, that kind of thing. But look, talk to us about your goal. We've already just heard it's your birthday coming up, and this was a nice way to celebrate.
Yeah, definitely. I've missed a lot of big chances this season, and it felt really good to get a goal, against my team that I played for when I was very young, and also the city I live in. I've got a few friends that are Southampton fans, so it meant a lot to me.
So this fixture does add that more significance for you then?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up in St Mary's. That's where I learned all my traits. So it meant a lot for me, definitely.
So how much needed was that win this evening?
Yeah, definitely. The last few games have been tough, and we needed to bounce back and to get them goals and to keep a clean sheet, boost all our confidence, and hopefully we can take it on to next game.
Yeah, just tell us about that run. I mean, look, 2 wins in 10 before today in the Premier League. Do you think confidence had been taking a hit in the dressing room?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's natural, We're all amazing players and we go out every game looking to win. So, when we don't, it's natural. But, like I said, we're amazing players and we all trust each other and we knew it was coming. I mean, every team goes through bad times and tough patches. You just got to get out of them. And obviously that's what we've done today.
Levi, you're very versatile in your play. Are you happier in the centre-back position on the left-hand side rather than the left-back?
Yeah, of course. The gaffer's played me centre half this season, and I feel like I can play my best football there. But if I have to play anywhere to help the team, I'm more than capable, more than happy to.
No, do you think, obviously, with maybe that little dip, maybe that has to do with maybe the fact it's quite a young squad? There are quite a lot of young players, and I think when you have younger players, there is that little, inexperience that can happen, because it feels like a lot of the players are of a similar age. A lot of those older players are gone that kind of help out when you get in those little difficult moments.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, we've got young players and we're all building experience together. So we still have a few players that do have experience and they got to help us get through these times, and that's what they've done. But we're building together and we're very excited about the future, definitely. And hopefully, like I said, we start winning games.
Sorry, just talking of the future. I mean, we saw a few academy players blooded towards the end of the game. I mean, I can see you smiling already. That must be great, not just for the seniors, but for the Chelsea fans to see tonight.
Yeah, it's amazing for the boys to come on. As an academy boy myself, I know how much it means to them. They were amazing when they came on. Obviously, Ty got the assist. Shin was amazing. Josh came on and solid. And, I'm just so happy for the boys, and hopefully it continues and they keep progressing in the right way.
And finally, into the top 4 once again. I mean, it's been a little while. How much of a psychological boost is that?
Yeah, definitely. It pushes all our confidence. We've been in a bad run of forms, like you guys said, and we're still in and around the top 4, and we're top 4 now. And I don't think we're too far off third. So it's not a bad position to be. Lost a few games, but we're still here. So hopefully now we can pick up points and really drive the team.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks for joining us. Happy birthday for tomorrow.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Chelsea defender Levi Colwill, who speaks well, as you said a little earlier.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I think he plays a lot older than he is, and I think he talks a lot older than he is as well. It's remarkable, really, him talking about the youngsters coming through. He's still young, really young, but you can see a good lad like him. They look out for the young ones when they come through, because you remember their first game, how nervous you were, how much it meant to you. So helping those youngsters as they come on today is a huge thing and says a lot about him.
There was another defender on the score sheet for Chelsea to wrap things up with goal number 4, and that came from Mark Cucurella, Tim.
He's got 4 goals this year. It's incredible, for someone who's a real defender, and I really like him. Do you know what I like about him is because he just hate to have him against you. When I bet opposition fans and just rubs them up the wrong way, and that's the biggest compliment I can give him. Takes that very well. He's got good technique. He's obviously a winner.
But if you want to see a goal, why Southampton's going to get relegated to that?
Yeah.
Your own corner.
Yeah.
The shot when you should never shoot, just go back out wide, get a cross in. You don't track back. They've just conceded so soft, but I love that from George. Good little shift there. But to be fair, end of the game, everybody's gambling, getting in the box. And he scores goals, Cucurella. I mean, the thing is as well, they need somebody to step up with the goals. Coles, maybe they've dried up a little bit, but he can chip in. We've seen in Cuckoo, we've seen Neto. They've got a lot of players, but they need somebody who can guarantee goals.
Yeah. I mean, talking of Cole Palmer, that's now 7 games in all competitions, no goal or assist. What did you make of his overall performance? It felt like he was trying everything he could to try and end that run. But what about his body language on the whole?
Well, he didn't look happy. I think he's right, because he wants the numbers, he wants the assists, he wants the goals. And I think it means a lot to him. You can see how he works hard for the team. You see the run there, he takes the defender away for Cucurella to score. I mean, he was probably hoping that would work in the opposite way, but he tried everything he possibly could. In the first half, he had a lot of good chances. and he's, he snatched them a little bit. Whereas early on in the season he was rolling them into the corner. He's still young. He's still developing as well. I think he's a superstar. I really do. I think for him to carry that team with the expectation on his shoulders for large periods of the season already, I think he will come back. He will come back strong again. But his body language didn't look great. I think Maresca's saying to him, I left you on the pitch. I tried everything I possibly could for you to get. I think Cole is a confident boy anyway. I don't think he needs much flannel from his manager. I think he's pretty assured of his abilities, and he knows that he's standing in this side. He knows it's a very important standing in the side. For me, he's the best player they have at Chelsea Football Club, but he wants to play in Champions League football. If they don't finish in the Champions League spot next season, he's struggled to keep hold of Cole Palmer.
Questions might be asked over maybe manager or players, right?
Well, for Cole Palmer, he want to play in the Champions League. Like I say, the boy's a superstar.
OK, let's have a look at Chelsea's fixtures now that they're in the top 4. This is their next 6 in all competitions. You've got the UEFA Conference League, of course, to contend with as well. Double-header with Copenhagen. But Leicester next, Enzo Maresca up against his former side. Arsenal, Spurs, Brentford. I mean, those are 3 big London clashes, aren't they?
Yeah, obviously quite tough, the London ones. And then I think they've got a few easier ones. And then they finish the season. The last 4 or 5 are really, really tough. Almost all top 4 teams, Liverpool, Newcastle,
Man U,
United,
Forest.
in Forest. So, look, if they're going to get into the top 4, well, we said not top 4, top 5. It will be top 5. It's like, I think, 99% chance it's going to be the 5 teams. So it's doable, but the problem is Newcastle, are in incredible form. Bournemouth are flying. Brighton are in good form. Obviously, Villa, you wouldn't underestimate them with the squad they have in City. If City get everybody firing. So it's going to be a shootout for,
and
for those
there'll be
places.
no rotation now, Owen, in the Conference League, in the Europa Conference. Now it's about the competition's just stepped up a little bit. Or it's Copenhagen, you would expect them to beat them, but there's no rotations now. If they do not win the Europa Conference League, it's an absolute disaster. But Chelsea Football Club cannot lose the Europa Conference League, and I think they should go for it. Of course they should. It's a European trophy, but the priority has to be in the Champions League.
Yeah,
the priority has. With them games sandwiched in, you saw all the kids playing in the early rounds. None of that no more. They're all back in now. All the first team players will play.
At the other end of the table, Southampton with 22 league defeats to their name now, with 11 to play. They've got 9 points to their name. The lowest ever points total in the Premier League is 11. I mean, that's another blank. And people, I suppose, that talk will continue the longer this kind of goal drought goes on, right?
Look, this is 2 teams, 2 seasons in a row that come up and try to out-football everybody without the players or the resources to do that. This should be a lesson to everybody that comes up. Stop trying to play like Man City. Burnley did it, got relegated. Southampton, 9 points, they're going to get relegated. Just try and come up and compete. Be hard to beat. Keep clean sheets, defend really well, and then hit teams on the break. You don't have to come up and play like Barcelona. This myth that these young managers have to think, we got to out-football everybody because we're in the Premier League. It doesn't work. We've seen the evidence of it. And I feel sorry for the Southampton players and the fans because there was a stat there in the game. How many mistakes had they made from individuals?
19. That led to goals.
Because you're trying to play against players and teams that are better than you. You should actually do the opposite. You should defend well and then hit teams on the counter. So I just think this body of work from Burnley and Southampton should show teams next year, come up, be hard to beat, rather than trying to out-football everybody.
Tim, as a manager, at what point do the clubs start preparing for life in the second tier?
Well, they should have a look at it. You would have thought Southampton would have done with their appointment, getting rid of Russell Martin. You would have thought that they would have brought someone in who knew the Championship because it looked very difficult for them to stay up. Sometimes it's not about the manager who's in charge, it's about the group of players what start the season. And we've seen that Leicester have changed their manager, Southampton have changed their manager, only Ipswich have kept hold of their manager, seemed to be a little bit more competitive because he's brought the players in, he knows them better than anyone. Sometimes you keep changing your manager and the results don't change. So sometimes it's about the recruitment of the players. It's very difficult, we know it is, a step up from the Championship. But it can be done. We talked about it at the top of the show. The likes of Bournemouth do it, Brighton do it, Brentford do it. There is a way, but you have to just survive in that first year. It's really important. And you get the funds again to spend, but you have to spend them wisely. So very difficult for them.
Welcome back. Before we look at the day's other Premier League action, let's get reaction now on Chelsea's 4-0 win over Southampton to move into the Premier League's top 4. Here's head coach Enzo Maresca.
Enzo, well done. How satisfying was that all round tonight?
Very happy. We said already that from now on every game is important, and if we can get 3 points, it's even more important.
What were you most impressed by tonight?
No, the performance. First of all, every game is complicated. It's a tricky game. Anything can happen. So you have to embrace that, deal with that in the right way. And I think since we start the game in the right way.
Particularly in a game like this where all the expectancy is on your team.
Exactly. These are probably the worst game because are the one that everyone take for granted and are the dangerous one.
And that third goal just before half-time seemed to settle everybody down.
Yeah, exactly. We need that. I think the performance was there. Even the last game against Aston Villa, where the performance was there. We have been unlucky there, but it's just a matter of to continue.
And was it important for you to share the goals around tonight?
Yeah. It's always good that they can score all of them, almost all of them.
And you talked about the over-reliance on Cole Palmer. You've scored 4 without him scoring. Well, I know he'll want to score, but actually that's a positive in a way.
Yeah, but we said since we started that we cannot rely on Cole for every game. You know, he has to continue to work, continue to be happy, continue to laugh in the way he is. We are completely happy with him. And it's normal to go through a moment where you struggle to score, but doesn't matter. Just continue, and he's going to score many goals.
So 4 goals in the end for Chelsea, and there were 4 goals tonight for Crystal Palace at home to top 4 contenders Aston Villa on a good...